Is the result of a game. Victory at the cost of pain. Like a freight train, you're tied to the tracks.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, it's your boy MegaCrasher. Now welcome you guys back to a brand new video, and ladies and gentlemen, in this video, allow yours truly to present to you the ultimate Giratina guide. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be discussing Origin Form Giratina. Now, Origin Form and Altered Form Giratina, despite the fact that they have a lot of similarities to them, there are also some key differences that we will be talking about here in this guide video. So, with that being said, and without further ado, let's go ahead, let's get started. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for future content like this. So, to start things off, ladies and gentlemen, we take a look at the typing. It is going to be a very unique Ghost and Dragon typing. And we then take a look at how it can be weather boosted. It can be boosted by either windy weather or foggy weather. Windy weather corresponds with the Dragon boost, and foggy weather corresponds with the Ghost boost. So it will be level 25 by default when you encounter it after your raid battle. Now, with that being said, if you guys are looking for high IV to 100 IV Giratina, then commit these figures to memory. A non-weather boosted Giratina will have a CP range from 2018 to 2105, whereas a weather boosted Giratina, being level 25, will have the CP range of 2523 to 2631. And a little tidbit of information: if you were to max out a 100% IV Origin Form Giratina, its CP would max out at 3683. So ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we take a look at the stats, starting out with the attack. Now, its attack stat is ranked 66 overall with 225. We then move on to defense, ranked at 92 overall with 187. And last but not least, with a stamina ranking of 10 overall. That is impressive. 284 stamina is very, very impressive. So this Pokemon right here, despite the fact it is the more offensive-oriented of the two forms, it is still relatively very bulky, and this Pokemon right here just hits a lot harder as opposed to Altered Form Giratina, where you have the attack and the defense stats swapped. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we go back to the presentation here, I want to give a very brief mention to the fact that it actually now gains access to Dragon Tail instead of Dragon Breath, and its charge moves, Shadow Sneak and Ancient Power, were actually replaced with Ominous Wind and Shadow Ball. And I also got to make a mention of the fact that it loses Dragon Claw in favor of Dragon Pulse. So this Pokemon's moveset, at least as far as charge moves are concerned, got a serious makeover. So getting back on track, ladies and gentlemen, we take a look at the fast moves of Giratina. It is going to have access to Shadow Claw and Dragon Tail, as I had just previously mentioned. And we take a look at the charge moves that it's got. It's got Dragon Pulse, Shadow Ball, and Ominous Wind. Now, the fact that this Pokemon gets access to Shadow Ball and Shadow Claw as a fast move right there, it is going to be an insanely lethal Ghost-type attacker. So, how much you all want to bet that Double Ghost is the way to go? Well, actually, ladies and gentlemen, there is no guesswork to it. You want Double Ghost Stab. You want Shadow Claw because it builds Meteor very quick, and you want Shadow Ball because it is just a very lethal and awesome 2-bar charge ghost move. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to this Pokemon's type resistances and weaknesses. Now, this Pokemon right here has quite the amount of resistances, that being to Poison, Bug, Normal, Fighting, Grass, Water, Fire, and Electric. So we have ourselves a lot of common types that it resists. However, ladies and gentlemen, you do need to watch out for the fact that it has 5 weaknesses that you can take advantage of when facing off against it in raid battles, such as Ice, Fairy, Dragon, Ghost, and Dark. And a little bit of a fun trivia here. We actually have ourselves a Pokemon whose typing is actually weak against itself. So we have Giratina being Ghost and Dragon, yet two of its weaknesses happens to be to Ghost and Dragon. So if you guys didn't know that, well, now you know. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now let's move on to the meat and potatoes of the video. Let's move on to the main point here, and let's get some counters underway for Giratina Origin Form. So first things first, you guys should have seen this one coming. We got none other than Dragon Tail Outrage Rayquaza. This Pokemon right here not only stands out as being one of the best overall generalist attackers, but this Pokemon right here, given the fact that it can deal super effective damage with that move combination to Giratina Origin Form, makes this head and shoulders above the rest. But if you don't have access to Rayquaza, don't worry, there are other Pokemon that you can use and they'll do you just fine in battle, such as coming up next. We actually have ourselves a four-way tie for second place because these four Pokemon right here serve a very, very similar function and they all deal similar damage. So we have ourselves Dragonite, and we have ourselves Palkia, we have ourselves Dialga, and we have ourselves Salamence. Now, with the combination of Dragon Tail and Outrage, as well as Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor, depending on which of these four Pokemon you are using, you're going to be dealing a ton of damage. You may not be dealing the kind of damage that Rayquaza may be dealing with, but the difference is not that much overall. So you're still going to be in good hands when it comes to your raid battle against Giratina. And up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves Weavile here. Now, this Pokemon right here is a glass cannon, but this Pokemon has a lot of coverage that is really, really solid against Giratina. We got Feint Attack and Foul Play, you know, you want to have double Dark, and we also have ourselves Ice Shard and Avalanche if you want to have double Ice. So this Pokemon is a pretty stellar choice overall. And coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves, in my opinion, the wild card here out of all of these choices. That being Shadow Claw Gengar. Now the thing is, Shadow Claw Gengar is a legacy, so if you do not have access to Shadow Claw Gengar, then Lick can also be an option as well. But if you don't have access to Lick Gengar, because if memory serves, that was also a move that was released during an event of some sort when there was the Gengar Raid Day. If you don't have access to either of those quick moves for Gengar, you can opt out to go for Hex and Shadow Ball. You won't be dealing as much damage and building Meteor up as quick, but nonetheless, Gengar is still a relatively good choice to consider in Giratina raid battles. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, well, look at that. We have ourselves Giratina Origin facing off against Giratina Origin. Because what it is that we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen, like Giratina Origin can use its own stab moves against itself. So my recommendation would be Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball spam, because Giratina is weak to Ghost type moves, and Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball is the recommended move of choice. And that right there is going to make this Pokemon a pretty solid choice if you ask me. Not to mention, it's also going to have the bulk to back up and take any hits that the Raid Giratina has to throw at it. Now, what good would a top list be without some honorable mentions? Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have ourselves Gardevoir with Dazzling Gleam. We have ourselves Tyranitar with Bite Crunch. We have Mamoswine with Powder Snow and Avalanche. And we have ourselves Latios with Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. These Pokemon right here would make really good choices as well if for whatever reason you don't have access to any of these Pokemon, or if you don't have access to high IV or high CP variants of these Pokemon. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it here for this video. So I want to say thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you guys found this video and guide to be useful for you. And if you guys did, then let me know down below in the comments if you liked it, if you learned something from it, because the purpose here of these videos is to help out your fellow Pokemon Go players. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap up here for this video. I want to say thank you guys so very much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure you smash the like button and subscribe for future content like this. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next upload.